Alright guys, so I haven't uploaded in a while to this channel because things have been really hectic in a good and in a bad way. Things have definitely been improving with Ariana and LJ as well, and that's kind of why I'm doing this video. I've wanted to do it for a while, but getting closer to my daughter's IEP meeting, I was talking to her coordinator, and she was asking me what I was doing that was getting Ariana to progress so dramatically and so well. And I was telling her, you know, my methods and what I do, and she had mentioned, she says, man, I wish you could go to every IEP meeting and explain to parents your method and explain to them how they're hurting their children. And I told her, so, well, obviously I can't do that, but I can make a video that she can refer people to, and this is the video. So what is working so well for my daughter? Well, first, let me give you a little bit of background information about who I am, for those of you who do not know. I'm a mother of 2 autistic children, and I have experience with the far extreme side of the spectrum to the far more high-functioning part of the spectrum. My daughter is more extreme. She's older. She's 11. When she was diagnosed, we did all the blood tests, CAT scans, MRIs, all that stuff. And they had found that the part of her brain that is responsible for speech, the development of speech and communication, they said it was damaged and underdeveloped. So they told me that she would never be able to communicate, and I would need to start teaching her sign language because she would not be able to verbalize. I was devastated, as any parent would be, absolutely devastated. But I didn't give up. I didn't give up, and I didn't accept it either. Now, when she went to school, I was one of those parents who fought for every single special needs tool that you could possibly think of. I had the school janitor going into the classroom before she entered it every single day and making sure that he went through it with a white glove to make sure there was no dust, no sand, nothing on the floors, because if there were, she would fixate on them and she wouldn't learn. She would just fixate on that dust bunny or that hair or whatever was on the floor. So I fought so hard for her to have every special needs tool that was absolutely available, and not realizing that I was actually hurting her. And I know y'all are probably wondering how, and I know I'll probably get a lot of backlash from a lot of you parents out there with children of autism and special needs. And don't get me wrong, every child's different, I understand, but this pretty much goes for like all children with special needs and without. Any kid with a disorder. Now, I understand like a physical disorder is something different. But even still, you can kind of apply the concept. So, how was I hurting her? I was hurting her by making everybody else change the way they live and the way they do things to fit my daughter. Now, this hurts her how? Because life and people in life are not going to change their lifestyles and their life to fit my daughter. It's not going to happen. When she hits 18, 21, and she's got difficulties, people are not going to just drop and stop doing what they're doing, you know, just to comfort her. They'll do it now because she's young and you can tell. But when they get older, people don't. They don't care as much. There are some that do, but there are a lot of assholes out there that don't. And they're going to do things just to purposely upset a person just because they get kicks out of it, I guess. So what I do is, since I started homeschooling, and I started taking her into education into my own hands. Same thing with my son, but more with her because, like I said, she's more on the extreme side. So her data is more impressive, I guess you can say, because she is talking now. She is communicating. She's talking by herself, using her words, which, oh my God, she'll never, ever be able to do it because that part of her brain is so damaged and underdeveloped that the speech just will never happen. I just need to accept that. No, I'm not accepting anything the specialists say. They do what they think is best, but they don't know. So anyways, back to the subject. So I help her work through every situation that might upset her. I help her work through every sensory overload that she has. Now, she used to be horrible when it came to not loud music. And I don't mean like horrible as her behavior was horrible. I mean like sensory overload would kick in with loud noises, and she would grab her ears and she would fall to the ground and she would start rocking, and it wasn't good because if you're grocery shopping and you walk in and the music's too loud, you still have to grocery shop. You can't just ignore it and get down and start rocking and stuff like that. She can now because she's younger, but when she gets older, she's not going to be able to do that. So me telling the manager, the owner, whatever, to turn the music down wouldn't help. It would help at that moment, but it's not going to help her long term. So what I do is, in a situation like with the volume or with the noise or anything like that, is we will try to find a way to work through it. So if it's a loud noise, you can put earphones on. Your own earphones. You can put cotton balls in your ear. And things like that, and then work through the sensory part. And the way she works through the sensory part, and like I said, every child is different, but the way she works through the sensory part is through breathing exercises. We practice different styles of breathing for different situations, and it seems to help really, really well. She does really well with it. And this way, you as a parent don't have to worry about other people adapting to your child. Because I promise you, there's at least one person out there that is not going to adapt to your child, is not going to care that your child is autistic, is not going to care that your child has special needs. Then they're not going to give a shit. They don't care. All right? There's at least one person that's not going to care, and they're not going to change their ways to adapt to your child. So if you teach your child how to work through things, then you don't have to depend on other people to change to help your child. You'll be able to trust that your child will be able to adapt to any situation that may come to them. Now, the reason the teacher, kind of brought this up to me more, or her case manager, teacher as well, is that she said, and I'm not going to say any names, but she's worked with a lot of older people with autism and special needs, and approximately around like the age 18 to about 25. And she says one of the major things that she has noticed with a lot of parents is that when their kids hit that age of 18, 19, 21, the parents look at her and go, what am I going to do? My child's not ready for the world. Like, he or she doesn't know how to handle this. They can't handle it. What am I going to do? I can't be there forever. And the teacher kind of goes back and thinks, well, you know what? You probably, not being an asshole, but you probably should have thought of that when they were younger. This is the problem a lot of parents with special needs kids face, is because you want to help your child. You don't want your child to go through the trauma of the sensory overloading. You want to just turn it off and do whatever you can to stop it, but that's not life. Life's not going to do that. So it's easier to just do. Now, it is a lot harder. I will give you that. It is a lot harder and a lot more stressful because you have to actually address the problem and you have to figure out a way to get your child to work through it. But it's worth it, because once they do, every single time that situation occurs, whether it be loud music, lights, anything that may make your child have a sensory overload or anything else, instead of them having that overload and instead of them just falling to the ground or kicking or screaming, Ariana used to run into glass doors and TVs. She'd just smash her head into them. It was bad. Not no more. Not no more. And it's because now she knows the appropriate way to work through it. And that is by breathing. Because with the breath can control parts of your blood pressure and stuff like that. So if you can learn how to control your breathing, you can calm yourself down. And she also does a lot of meditation too. But yeah, so that's basically it. I mean, if you help your child work through any situation, anything, I don't care what it is, I don't care what the problem is, you can find a way to work through it. And again, it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy, because it is not easy at all. It is so much easier to just make the teacher turn down the music, to make the store dim the lights, to make everybody else adapt to your child. Is so much easier to do that. But it's not helping your child at all. It's not. And, like I said, if you work through it and show your child how to work through it and learn with your child, because like I said, every child's different. So you learn and you adapt with your child. And as you're working through everything, your child gets it, you get it. And then once she or he has it, they've got it. That's it. Move on to the next thing. And it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what challenge comes to us. We will overcome it. They wanted to give her, not only with the sign language, they wanted to give her a speaking iPad device where all she would have to do was pick the pictures. And I see a lot of autistic children carrying them around. And she just, picked the picture and it would talk for her. And they says, we can give this to you. It would be free. Your insurance will cover it. And I declined it. I said, no. Now, she did use the PEC system. But with the PEC system, I would not allow any kind of device to speak for her. If she wanted to talk, she needed to talk. And I didn't just say, okay, you need to talk. I helped her. I showed her my lip movements. I helped her hear, understand, feel. I would have her put her hand on my lips as I spoke a word so that she could also feel it along with seeing it and hearing it. And she had the picture to visualize the action of what we were talking about. And, golly gee, look at that. She's talking now. Miracle. Like I said, a lot of the doctors told me, and I went to several different doctors too. Like I said, I was that mom that I fought. I still fight, but now I fight for the right things. Before I used to fight, to cripple her, basically. And now I fight so that she's not crippled. I guess my best point of advice to summarize this whole video up would probably be, don't let your child's disability disable them. I mean, it's that simple. Don't let your child's disability disable them. Because just because they're autistic doesn't mean they're disabled at all. And I see and hear from a lot of autistic adults, or adults with autism, that, autism is not a disability. It's just a different way of seeing and processing the world. That's all it is. It's just they see, hear, feel. Their sensories are different, so they experience things differently. It doesn't have to be a disability. I believe a lot of parents turn it into a disability and cripple their kids for it. And like I said, I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash for this. And I really don't care, because you know what? I have the experience and I have the data to back it. Everyone used to call me mean. I was so mean because I wouldn't give her what she wanted unless she verbally asked for it. And I was cruel because I would make her go through these steps and I would make her do this stuff. And I was just the meanest mom. But you know what? She's doing what they said she would never do. She's able to speak for herself. I do kind of, a lot of people don't understand her. I can understand her, and we're working on it. But she's able to verbalize, which they said she would never do. Her brain won't allow it. Guess what? Mama said she gonna talk, and I did not give up until she talked. And I found a way to work through it, through, using her abilities and what she was good at. And I kept going and I kept trying. And if something didn't work, that's fine. We'll try something else. I will not give up. I refuse to give up. I will fight. And I will keep fighting until my daughter is able to take care of herself, because that is the big problem, or that is the big thing that us parents with special needs kids face, is that we are not going to be around forever. And one of me and my husband's biggest concern was, I'm the youngest in my family. I'll probably be around longer than anybody else. What am I going to do when I'm not here? What is she going to do? And I can't trust anybody else with my daughter. I don't. But I trust my daughter. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure it doesn't matter what situation occurs, no matter what difficulty she faces, whether it be a sensory overload or just a bad day or whatever it is. Doesn't matter what the problem is, because I will be able to trust that she will be able to work through it. Because as of right now, and since I started homeschooling, that is all we work on, is it doesn't matter what problem comes, it's just a problem, and every problem can be solved. I mean, it won't be solved if you say can't. That's one thing that will definitely cripple you from solving things. But I guess this video is going on 17 minutes, so or past 17 minutes. So like I said, I'll probably get a lot of backlash, but I don't care. It's the kids I care about. I care about the parents too, because God, I know what you guys go through, and it is hard. It is very hard, and it is very hard to do the right thing. And it's, like I said, it's not easy. And a lot of parents out there, especially, single parents that are trying to raise an autistic child or a special needs child, and then you have to go to work and you got to provide for them too, and you have to send them to school, and you have to deal with the school system. And I feel for you guys. I do. And I'm blessed. My husband's able to go to work. I'm blessed for that I can stay home. My disability makes me unable to work as well. But I'm able to stay home with them, and I'm able to work with them, which makes it a lot easier. But it doesn't matter. You do what you do for your kids, no matter what the situation may be. And if you want to help your child and you want your child to succeed, then help them work through their problems. Don't just make everybody else change. Because I promise you, the world's not going to change for your child. Perfect example. This is what me and my daughter are working on now. You can tell my daughter's autistic. When she was younger, people used to tell me you can't tell. Now she's older. She's as tall as me, but she acts like a toddler sometimes. So you can tell she's autistic. Now, when we go into a store or when we go to some kind of function or whatever, she sees something that she likes and she's interested in, and she will grab it. Now, people can obviously tell she's autistic, so I always get the same thing with, oh, it's okay, she can have it. Oh, it's all right, she can have it. And the problem with this is, and a lot of people think I'm a mean mom again, but when she gets older and she's 21, 25, whatever, and she goes into a store and she takes something she wants because everybody now is telling her, oh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, she's going to go to jail. They're not going to care if she's autistic. She's going to go to jail because she just walked in a store and took something she wanted. Because she's used to it. Because every time she goes to a store, every time she goes somewhere and she gets something she wants, everybody says it's okay. And I have to be, and this is where it's hard to be the parent. This is where it's really hard to be the parent. I have to be the one to say, No, it's not okay. One, she has to ask. Now, if she asks, it's something different, because that's just like if you walk in a store and you ask. It might be ridiculous to say, can I have this? You know, the cashier or whatever, or manager will tell you, yeah, you can have it if you pay me this. You know, but if you ask, you're verbalizing your wants, and someone else can communicate back to you whether or not you can have it. That's one thing. But to just take it, that's theft. And theft is a serious offense if you're older. And it doesn't matter, you know, the police don't care if you're autistic or if you're, you know, got special needs or you don't understand. They don't care. Theft is theft. You know, so that's an example of something we're working on now. And like I said, it is hard. I do have to be, you know, the tough parent, and it's very hard because a lot of people, you know, will have downed me and told me I'm mean and I'm cruel. But you know what? I might seem mean, I might seem cruel, but she's talking. She's doing so much better, and I have the doctors and I have her teachers and everybody that works with her asking me how, because they don't even understand it. They don't understand how she went from being so severe and so crippled or disabled to now being independent and being able to do things that they said would never be done for her. So, I mean, I got the teachers and the doctors boggled. But you know what? It's that simple. Work through your problems. Don't let your child's disability disable them. It's not a disability. It's a different way to see the world. Help them see the world and help them process the world and work through the problems that the world's going to throw at them, because the world's not going to stop throwing it. People are not going to stop throwing them problems. They're going to keep coming. They're going to keep coming. Better to teach your kids how to deal with the problem than to just avoid it, because it's not going to go away. Oh, that's it. I've been babbling long enough. I hope I could help somebody. I hope I don't get no hate, but you know, it is what it is. I love y'all to death, and I hope y'all have a fantastic day. Stay positive, guys.